Good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the S&P 500 being recorded on Monday, September the 29th, 2025 at 2:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Um, as it started out this morning, the markets had rallied overnight during the Globex session and did continue to push a little bit higher as the U.S. sessions began this morning. Um, both the ES and the NASDAQ reached resistance levels that actually held tighter here in the Nasdaq, also in the S&P, also in the Nasdaq. They basically held, flipped a little bit above, but then came back down. Now I'm going to quickly drop this down. So here we are. We're still within that minute fourth wave. There's the A wave. I am marking today's high as the completion point for the B wave. I'm going to drop this down to the 15-minute chart so we can take a look inside and see. And you can see this is where we left it. We had the A, the B, and we started to move up in the C wave. This pretty much is all Globex, right? We can just go right from there. This is all Globex, and that's our opening. No, actually, this is our opening. So we had already started to come down a little bit after reaching that high. We went back up and basically equaled the high. Didn't go over it, but we equaled the high. They tested that twice overnight in the Globex, and it held. And that resistance was 67.36, and that's where exactly it hit 67.36 more than once. So what I've done is just attempting. I always look when we're done with a corrective phase. I want to see if the next leg, in this case a C wave, is going to be underway. And the one way that I do that is that I'm going to be looking for a quick 5 waves down, which normally is going to form wave one of C. Now, confirmation will come if we get an ABC up to be labeled wave two and we start to come back down. So total confirmation would come if we can actually break that level right there. So this is actually kind of good because now we're back to what appears to be just some normalized type of trading. Now, that doesn't mean that intraday today it didn't have its push and pull and tugging and going and crazy because we're continuing to just prepare for tomorrow's end of the quarter expiration. And so, what I'm kind of hoping is that once we get through that, we get where things are going to be in terms of JP Morgan's collar, et cetera. There might then, if we're already involved in this C wave, which I believe we are, it could pick up in earnest and then really just start to fill in all those blanks, get down, finish it, which I now can just kind of show you where we are. We have the 100% for wave C now. This is wave C. 100% is 6603. It would actually put a new low in because this low is 6624. So that would be part of what it needs to achieve. But kind of thinking that, no, probably not. I think we kind of have the ability, 1.618. And let me take it back out to that hourly chart. We're going to look at some of these downside targets. 1.618 doesn't, I think it might bring us into the price territory of the previous fourth wave. But if we went 2.618, which is absolutely possible in a C wave, we definitely would be. And we'd be pretty close to that low of minuet wave four. And remember, minute wave four, it's going to find its terminus, its endpoint within the price territory of the previous fourth wave of one lesser degree. And there it is right there. It is that fourth wave. Let me go up to the daily chart one more time, and then you're going to see that right in here. And there is the one high. I think that high was a little bit higher. And so 1.618 would just get into the top side of the price territory, and this would definitely be well within side. So drop back down to that hourly chart, and there you have it. And that's actually it for today. I mean, I don't have very much more to say other than let's keep an eye on all of this and let's see how this continues to develop. Again, we have that. We came down. So I'm going to say ABC, and we likely should get a little bit more of a wave two. And what we can do is just go ahead and put in, just take a look at where our fibs are going to come in. So we have 50 to 60, 62%, and that's 67, 16, 67, 21 for this wave two to come back up. So again, 60, 67, 16 to 16, 7, 21. I will leave those here. Let me just kind of go in and make my changes. It's actually going to be this one. And I'm going to change this over. And we're going to go like that here, here, and just put this back in shape 50 to 618. And I'm not going to take too much more than that. So I would expect wave two up here. There's a possibility we might get up a little bit further and we have continued resistance. The 1%, 100% would be up here. Definitely not looking, but wave two can get back even higher than 62%. But I'm going to leave those there. We started to come off a little bit. Maybe we come down a little bit more. 15-minute 15, 15-minute 200. I think we should hold it and then actually turn it and get it to move back up, put in that C wave, and then put in wave two and then come back down in wave three, which should be again as wave three of C, longest and the strongest portion. And I'd be looking for that to kind of do a little bit of nosedive. Once I get wave two in, we'll run some fibs to give us an indication for that third wave. But right now, it's not looking too bad. In fact, I kind of like the fact that we kind of went up. We held the resistance levels, although secondary and third and tertiary resistance levels, but they held. And that was good. And then the coming down, and what I believe I can count as 5 is also good. That kind of keeps this count very much alive. Just to quickly double check now, I want to go over and see what we have, if anything, tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 1, 2, 3 Fed officials. Everybody's out making speeches this week and last week. But what we have is S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. That used to have a little bit of a good effect. I haven't seen one in a long time. An effect, that is. 9:45 is Chicago Business PMI. 10 a.m. is job openings. And 10 a.m. consumer confidence. So we have a few things that could, shake us a little bit. Plus, we're still waiting to get additional news out of supposedly this meeting at the White House between the president and the Senate and House leadership, and to talk about the possible shutdown. That will be interesting. Gamma levels will be updated in the morning, and that's going to be it for today. Next update will be tomorrow morning.